Hey there, this is Polly. I guess there's nothing new to report other than my cable went out on my for my iPhone and my iPad, which just put me into kind of a panic because I'm pretty agoraphobic. I have one friend that I hang out with. And a lot of times I decline to hang out with her. And so getting out of the house is hard. So I don't communicate like I should with people. The only way I really have contact with the outside world is online, which makes my devices, my online devices, very important to me. So, ran to Myers and got a new cable, and as you can see, I'm online, so that's good. But, I went there, it was after midnight when I got there, which isn't that late to me. I'm kind of a late night owl, you know. But I got there and they were running the floor cleaners, and I basically had one of my, I didn't have a meltdown, but I had one of my very visible autistic moments. It was more than a moment. And so I called this, and I left Tucker out in the car. I had to take him with me because I was afraid if I left him home, he would bark, and I wouldn't be here to stop him, and got a little thing going with my neighbor because it was barking anyway. So I took him with me, and I left him in the car, and I just was fearful. I'm always fearful when I leave Tucker in the car. I'm very afraid somebody will steal him. I had a friend in Florida who, her dog was stolen right out of her car, and that terrifies me. So anyway, I left him in there. So I was kind of nervous the whole time I was in the store, but I got close to the back, which is where they keep the electronics, and this floor cleaner was just absolutely, it was so loud, and it almost paralyzed me. And of course, you know, I had earphones on because I had planned for you know, block out a little bit of sound, but this thing. So I called up to the front on one of those phones you can just pick up, and I told him I was in kind of a hurry because I'd left my dog in the car, but that I really needed to get back and get something in the electronics department. And so he sent somebody, and I know I was displaying my autistic behaviors. At that time I wasn't ticking. I do have tics. I don't know if that's part of autism. Honestly, I don't know, because I actually have multiple issues, and one of them is Tourette's-like, if not Tourette's. And it was actually induced, I think, at first by Ritalin, which I was put on for ADD. And then I went off of that, and they went away, and that was good. That was fine. But then I was put on Adderall by a very incompetent doctor who had me on you're supposed to be dosed the same way. Like there's a maximum dose you're never supposed to go over, and he based it on my weight as an adult versus a child dose, and apparently the doses are supposed to be the same, at least according to the company, the pharmaceutical company. So here I was taking like 120 milligrams of Adderall a day, and I was hallucinating auditorily, auditory hallucinations, losing huge blocks of time. What was my point? Adderall. Oh, and it gave me tics. It gave me facial tics, and it gave me vocal tics. And pretty much, it got so bad I went off it on my own. I had to. And the facial tics mostly went away, But I'm just so lucky to still have the vocal tics. I think it was like 8 years ago, no, maybe more like 6 years ago, when I stopped taking the Adderall, and I still have those tics. You know what they say, it's the gift that keeps on giving. So I found that certain chemicals, certain amino acids, certain foods, sweeteners and stuff, artificial colors, artificial things, make it worse. Sugar, for one, would make it worse. Or sugared pop. Phenylalanine makes it a lot worse. Caffeine, those things. But sometimes it gets worse, and I haven't had any of those things, and so I don't even know why. So anyway, I was in the store. It was triggered, though, by the sound. I mean, I had one of those kind of panic attacks. It wasn't as full as I have sometimes, but I was trying to get away from the floor sweepers. There were 2 of them, and so, basically created a triangulation in the store of only one direction I could go to get away from them. So that's, of course, where I went. I'm just zoning right now. I don't know. Where was I? Oh, and so I'm walking down the other part of the store, and I was sweating. I was really sweating, and I started ticking. And it was a different tic than usual, because my tics usually are kind of musical. I'm a musical person, so, I mean, why not have musical tics, right? But this one was different. I've never had this one. It was 7 beats, and it was like, it was nah. It was like nah, or wait, something like nah. But it was more like no. I can't do it now. Well, whatever it was, was unusual. I don't think I've had that particular pattern of them. But anyway, so here I am, sweating, ticking, and probably just, visually weird. And paranoid. I was very paranoid. It made me very paranoid. I mean, when I walked in there, I didn't care that there were people around me. Didn't matter. But once that whole thing was triggered, I was aware of everybody and didn't like anybody coming near me. And I think part of it was because I was ticking and I was making this weird sound, and it wasn't normal, and I didn't want them to hear it. And yet, it got worse. I mean, I could keep it soft, but it seemed like it became more prevalent as people would get closer, because I got more nervous, and so then I would tick more. But like I said, I tried to keep it soft. It was very uncomfortable. And the man who helped me pick out what I needed as far as the cable, I was acting different than your normal human person, and he was extremely unfriendly. And people are like that a lot. If they're a lot friendlier when I'm a lot more normal. When I'm not normal, nobody's friendly. You know, I, I, they, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they think, but whatever it is, it's bad. So they treat me badly. And I'll never get used to it, I don't think. I don't know how to get used to that. I mean, it's not like he's somebody I knew, you know, and like he hurt me on some personal level, wounded me deeply or anything. But it's so wearying to be treated badly all the time, or much of the time. Of course, shopping is one of my biggest triggers. I get so overwhelmed when I have to make decisions, and when you go into a store, you have to make decisions. Plus, I've got a whole guilt complex about buying stuff because of my mom's, well, it came from my mom's own issues about buying stuff and making sure she passed them along to me. And so shopping's hard. I hate shopping. You know, and I'm not into fashion, really, not into clothes, and I'm not into certainly shoes. I don't care. I don't even look at anybody's feet. I mean, why would I care what they have on their feet, really? Or what purse they happen to be carrying. Don't notice it, sorry. I really don't. I don't notice those things. Those are the things my mom notices about people. She and I are not the same at all. Not even close. She would always, you know, say, "Oh, did you see that woman's bag? Her handbag or her purse?" And I'm like, "No." Or, "Did you see that woman's shoes?" No. Why would I see her shoes? I wasn't looking at her feet. But you know what? I used to think of myself as being a very unobservant person. Well, that wasn't true. It's only been recently that I figured out that that isn't true. I'm very observant. Just not about the stuff that doesn't mean anything to me. But I look at people's faces. I study people's faces and their body language and their moods. And the paranoid part of me studies whether they are summing up, you know, coming to some negative conclusion about me. That's when I'm paranoid, I mean, but just in general, that's the stuff I find interesting. I don't find, you know, what they're wearing and what they're carrying very interesting. Unless they were carrying a bomb or something. And then I probably wouldn't notice it. Because I do miss stuff, you know. I don't expect anybody to be carrying anything interesting. So I notice the person. Now, if they were acting strangely, if they were acting at all, you know, I would be, then I might look and see what they were carrying. I'd be probably looking at them from head to toe, you know, but just very fascinated by people. People are something I don't understand at all. Which, you know, they don't understand me either. I guess I'm not a people. I'm defining myself outside of the definition of people, calling them they and me not part of they. So I don't know what I think I am. Alien, I guess. I do feel like an alien. Very, very much feel like an alien in society. So I am one of the misfits, you know? I tend to like the misfits. Misfits are usually good people. Not always, but I like people with... I respect people with good moral character. I respect people who are not judgmental of others. I respect people who are kind and empathetic and people who put others ahead of themselves. People who will reach out. People who will, I don't know, people who aren't greedy. People who aren't always trying to show that they have more than other people or that they're above other people. Because when they try to show that, that's the last thing I believe about them. And I don't know how I wandered off onto this subject exactly, but I guess that was my trip to the grocery. I didn't stop ticking until I got out into the parking lot, got outside in the fresh air, and I was still paranoid, I know, but it seems like I wasn't ticking anymore. And when I got in my car, Tucker was fine, and I was fine. I felt a lot better in the safety of my car. So, just a little excursion. Got myself a cable. No freak out tomorrow, because the first thing I do when I get up in the morning, well, the first thing I do is let my dog out. And then the second thing I do is take my meds. And then the third thing I do is I get on my iPad. Okay, sometimes it's the first thing. And I make the dog wait a little. And whatever the other thing was doesn't necessarily happen right away. Oh, my meds. I'm that addicted. So, but don't tell anybody. Thanks. Okay, so, I don't know what I'm going to do now. But I'm going to do something else now. See you later.